It is a journey through the Bible with Mukhwana Isaac. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. In our previous program, in our previous sharing, we looked at Hosea and the God of mercy. Today, we look at Isaiah and the God of holiness. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. When you look at all the prophets in the Bible, here we shall just have a sample of some prophets, but each prophet had a message, a particular message God wanted them to deliver to his people. It wasn't general, it wasn't that every prophet, since you were called, you had to do everything. No, they had particular messages. When we looked at Prophet Amos, he said, you have to respect one another, treat each other very well. Justice should flourish. And when it comes to Prophet Hosea, for him, he says, our God is a loving God. His mercy has no end. His love is unconditional. And that is why he gives that example. God is asking him to marry a harlot, and he did that. Isaiah, called to be a prophet in about 738, he prophesied in the kingdom of Judah. He belonged to a noble family of Jerusalem. He was well educated and able to speak forcefully. In the preaching of Amos and Hosea, we have seen two ways in which to think of God. Amos preached that God is just and demands that men practice justice among themselves. Hosea preached God is merciful and tender love for man. But yet God is not concerned only with man. We have to be careful not to try to make God dependent on man, in the sense that we must not think that God does nothing else but thinks only of man and his needs. Familiarity breeds contempt. This is something very common in our communities, in our societies. Familiarity breeds contempt. Getting so much used to people, getting so much used to our friends, and we have brought it in church. People have got so much used to their priests, to the servants of God. I've always been with this priest. I started with this man. He was like this. And now that he can give a blessing, this God, I don't think he can do this, because I've gone through life. Things are not working. Familiarity breeds contempt. And this issue called familiarity breeds contempt can become very true, yes, of our relations with God. And if we speak only of God loving us and looking at man to see if he is just or not, there is a danger of making God smaller in our own eyes. We make him into someone who has always to be thinking of what we are doing and what we want, and nothing more. The preaching of Isaiah helps us to give a balance, to the teaching of Amos and Hosea. Though certainly there is no lack of balance in their preaching, it is we who, through stressing one point of their teaching, especially a part that might please us more, can cause their preaching uh, to seem to be unbalanced. Isaiah gives this balance to Amos and Hosea, for Isaiah is especially the prophet of God's holiness, because you cannot separate justice with holiness. The two are uh, the two are in the same community. Where you find justice, so you will find something to do with mercy. And so that has been today's sharing, a brief introduction. Tomorrow we shall look at the call of Isaiah, the beginning of his vocation. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. I have been Mukhwana Isaac with a journey through the Bible. Be blessed.